Hey everyone, so this is going to be a pick a card talking about good and bad. What do other people think and say about you? And then the last card will be like, what can you take away from that message, okay? So yeah, the first two cards are going to be more positive things that other people think and say about you. These could be like acquaintances, people that are kind of friends, you know, like not necessarily close friends or family, just however it resonates with you, whoever you would mainly have in mind. It's a more of a large group of people, so like a majority of people that you're around, majority of people that know you, know of you, whatever, is just like kind of like the impression that you give off. Given what cards come up, it could either be like, you know, at a glance, like first impression, versus like, you know, oh yeah, the more I got to know you, the more I realize this, you know, however it's gonna come up. So we'll unwrap that whole thing as it goes, okay? But this is pile 1, this white bracelet. Pile 2, tiger's eye, and pile 3, the red bracelet, okay? So let's get started. Let me move these out of the way. Be an interesting little read, okay? Alright, okay, so pile 1. The positive things, okay, so the star in reverse, that is Aquarius. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse as a positive. So the negative is the Ace of Wands in reverse, 4 of Cups, okay, and then what to take away from it, the Page of Pentacles. Alright, so let's put that bracelet there. Alright, so like I said, the star card is the sign of Aquarius. And in the reverse, it talks about healing, okay? So some people might kind of like, in a spiritual sense, view you as like a healer, you know? Maybe people can kind of talk to you when they're going through something, and you can kind of help them through their feelings, you know? You might have a very nurturing way about you, which is funny because I was thinking about this pick a card for a couple days, and when I was at work today just thinking like how it might go, I was just like, I'm getting hospitable and nurturing for one of the decks, you know? So yeah, that I love how that happens. So yeah, so you guys might be consider more nurturing people, because yeah, this is in the reverse, it talks about healing, okay? It's like hope, renewal in the upright. Like the star card in general is a very it's actually a really nice card, you know. Sometimes in the reverse it could be looked at as like, oh, hopelessness, whatever, you know, but it's more like healing after a tough situation, or like maybe you're really one to overcome obstacles and people maybe admire that about you, you know. So the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, this is very like slow moving type of energy, okay? This is masculine energy with the Knight, very young energy. So, but this being a more positive aspect rather than negative aspect, I think I more so just want to pay more attention to what it means in the upright. So this is kind of like slow and steady wins the race, okay? And given with the major arcana, I feel like you guys are really good at kind of seeing the big picture and knowing that things will get better over time, okay? You're probably, you know, very patient people, good at, sorry for saying a lot, you know, but really good at just, let me see, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's like on the tip of my tongue. You are like poised, conserved. I feel like you kind of have a plan, you know. Just the phrase again, slow and steady wins the race, just what I'm thinking about, you know. So maybe you're not really one to rush it, okay? Maybe some of you might kind of be considered as like a little predictable, but like in a more stable way, you know, with that pentacle, rather than predictable as an boring, you know. I see it more as like you're a stable person and you don't do like reckless and overly spontaneous things, okay? So that's like, that's a positive thing, but could also be looked at as a negative thing because the Ace of Wands in the reverse, like Wands is about action, Ace is about like beginnings, and And with this card in the reverse, it talks about delays. So, I feel like your slow moving energy, it might be like a positive and negative trait about you, like depending on who it is that thinks about it. Because some people might be like, oh yeah, they really like to take their time with things, they aren't like reckless, they're very responsible people, they're very nurturing. I'm getting the word like mom friend, dad friend, whatever, it doesn't matter. But just like that hospitable, nurturing type of person, very mature for your age. But then there are other times that people may be like, like you're not really one to like jump up and go to a party or something, however that will resonate with you. But I just feel like some of you just are those kind of people that like can kind of come off as very careless about certain things. And again, not careless in a reckless way, like maybe turning down offers to do fun things, like maybe very introverted, okay? So like, and I don't really think that's negative. I don't think being introverted is really a negative trait, like at all, I'm a combination between introvert and extrovert. It really depends on my mood, it depends on who I'm around, so maybe some people that are around you, like you're probably not one to open up to every single person. So those people that don't know you enough, like again, because this is like a general, like what do others say about you? Okay, these aren't close friends, these are people that are around you, your peers. So there are probably a lot of people that don't fully know you yet. So you could come across, as very, very nurturing, very mature for your age, and, someone who would probably make, like, a great parent one day. Or maybe you are a parent, that's what I'm getting. But you're still a young person, so that's what I'm saying, like, mature for your age, like, very, very wise, very healing. But on the other hand of it, there are times where you can kind of be like, I don't feel like going here, I don't feel like doing that, I don't feel like spending my money on anything like that, So I feel like that could be your takeaway from it is, let your youth shine a little bit more with the page. Okay, this is very youthful energy. This could be male or female. You can be a little more frivolous with your spending. Don't be so frugal about things. Don't always turn down offers to go out and have a fun time, because don't really care that much what other people think. But if you are watching this for that reason and you just want to know, it's just like, I feel like the main takeaway could just be like, people might want to get to know you more, and I feel like you actually do have a lot of offers around you and people that are constantly wanting to be around you, wanting to hang out with you, wanting to get to know you more, and you kind of reject it, you kind of turn it down, and it's for like materialistic things, okay? Like some of you might be earth signs, okay, other than Aquarius being the main thing right here. I see 2 pentacle cards. I see every sign in here though, but I feel like you're probably more so, okay, with the 2 pentacle cards, you're more concerned about materialistic stuff, you're more concerned about money, more frugal with your money. So like some people might just think like, oh my god, like they never want to do anything, they never want to go out there, they're always working, they're always about their job, they're like kind of cheapskates, they want to hold on to their money all the time, that they never, like, oh, they never want to do anything, like that type of thing. So yeah, just be a little, like not saying reckless, none of that. It's just that like, you seem like really responsible people with your money, your spending and all that, but learn to kind of let loose once in a while, like say if you if you got paid like $100, like your paycheck, whatever, or maybe more than that, take out like $20, just take out $20 and go out to a party, or say after you paid your monthly bill, put some money aside so you can actually do more things for fun. Go out, to the movies with your friends, go out in the city, whatever. Just don't always be so like, oh, that's too much money, I don't want to do that, like I really just am really getting the strong sense that a lot of you guys just love to hold on to your money to a point where it's like money is meant to be spent, like you hold on to it, you save it, but usually you're saving it up just so you can spend it on bills, but every once in a while, you're working hard for it, use it, spend it on yourself sometimes. Don't be reckless with it, but give yourself a good time once in a while, okay? So yeah, like I was saying, that's kind of like a positive and negative aspect of it, because like people do see you as, you know, very, very mature, you know, nurturing, responsible, but at the same time it could kind of come across as boring. It can come across as like, oh, they never want to do anything, they never, you know, they always want to save their money. So your takeaway from that is just to like let loose a little bit, okay? So thank you, pile number 1. I hope that resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed it. You can watch another pile if you wish, you know. This is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with every single person. Maybe some might resonate, some messages probably don't, you know. It really just depends on you and your situation, alright? So, moving on to pile number 2. I have a sticker in my hand. Tiger's Eye. Okay, so positive things. You have 2 of Wands. The Moon in reverse. The High Priestess. And the 2 of Swords in reverse as the more negative cards. Now, I'm starting to think that this entire reading might be more of a this or that or on the other hand as opposed to negative, you know. And your takeaway is the Ace of Swords, okay? So I started laughing when I saw the High Priestess, because when this card flipped out when I was shuffling, and I was like, that's a kind of weird card to show up in the more positive aspect. And I was trying to shuffle. As I cut the deck, I saw the High Priestess. I was mid-shuffle, and I was like, you know what? I saw the High Priestess. I saw the Queen of Cups, you know. Like, these are all kind of similar cards. So let me just keep this, because I feel like this is probably the card that was meant to stay out, you know. So I love how this card shows up anyway. It just really wanted to be shown, so. Alright. First of all, you have 222, okay, if that resonates at all. High Priestess, a very wise person. The Moon is Pisces, okay, so some of you could be Pisces. You don't have to be. That could be a placement in your chart, whatever. So let's look at this. So the more positive things that people think or say about you, you know, peers, people around you, not necessarily close friends, just more like at a glance, you know, things that people think about you, like they know of you, you know, but they probably don't know you fully. So based off of like how you are around them, how they see you, this is how they view you, all right? So the 2 of Wands, future planning, decisions and discovery, okay? So I feel like kind of similar to pile number 1 about like having a plan, you know, but this is more specifically talking about that, especially with it being in the upright. I feel like maybe people are seeing that like you are bound to do great things, you know, bound to be like, I'm getting the word successful, you know, that usually will be the 6 of Wands, but of course when it comes to tarot, anything could mean anything depending on the layout of it, you know. So I feel like with the future planning, people probably see that you have a very bright future, okay? And that's a really nice positive card right there. And then with the Moon in reverse, in the upright it would talk about like mystery, but then in the reverse it's more uncovering that mystery, you know. So let me look at this for a second. So release of fear, unhappiness, and confusion. Okay, so I feel like, honestly, especially with this line here, which kind of reminds me of the Strength card, I feel like a lot of people view you as very fearless, and therefore that will make you to be a very successful person in the future, okay? So, you're not really afraid of anything, like, you kind of, like, look fear right in the eye. Like, you eat fear for breakfast. You know, like that type of person, you know, or at least that's how you come across. Very confident, very fearless person, okay? And, yeah, confidence, happy, positive, just yeah, stuff like that, okay? So, yeah, confident, fearless, bright future, bound to be very successful one day because of this confidence, you know? I feel like you are one of those people, like, you know what you want, and I feel like that's very admirable about you, okay? Now, with the, the negative aspect, or the, other hand aspect of it, the High Priestess and the 2 of Swords in the reverse, okay, so some of you might kind of come across as know-it-alls, okay, because the High Priestess is a very intuitive card, but this is like the more negative version of how people see you. So I feel like with these two cards together, you might be very quick to jump to conclusions, maybe very quick to kind of like, you know, cut someone off because intuitively you're like, nah, I don't want to deal with this person, you know, I feel like, you know, I don't want to be around said person or around this situation, so I'm just going to cut it off right away. And some people might kind of think that as a, you know, more negative thing that they could, actually, you know, it's really funny. Another meaning for High Priestess is mystery. So, I love how this is the upright is mystery, and then this is also mystery. So, let's see. I feel like for some of you, a more negative aspect about you is that people really just don't know enough about you. Like, I feel like you might kind of wear a mask. You're one of those people that, like, you know, you at least at surface level are very, you know, very successful people, very fearless people, but then on the other hand, people kind of look at you and they're like, I feel like I have no idea who she is, who he is, whoever you are. The High Priestess is female, but it doesn't matter whether you're feminine, masculine, doesn't matter, but I just feel like some people could be like, I don't know anything about this person, and I don't like that. I don't like not knowing about this person. Like, I kind of want to get to know them more. They're very closed off type of people. This is very similar to pile one, but on a more personality aspect rather than physical, materialistic type of aspect, where it's like, you know, yeah, you're very mysterious, okay? And this is just like for some of you, or maybe split down the middle, because like I was saying in the very beginning, for some of you it could just be clear cut, you know, like you have these intuitive feelings, you know, these gut feelings, and it makes you make those decisions. So other people might kind of see you. I'm sorry, I just kind of burped. Other people, I think that might have been a confirmation actually. Other people might kind of see you as the type of person that, like, you know, you have a gut feeling about something and you only trust your gut feeling. You're like, I'm not listening to you. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm thinking about. So you might be the one to cut people off before anyone else even, you know, sees someone else's flaws, you know? Or it doesn't have to be a person. It could be really anything. But I just feel like, I feel like maybe you're kind of one to, like, spot a shark, you know? Like, you know, like you always, you could sense if someone is like a bad friend, a bad person before anyone else does. You know, like it could be like a, you know, a popular person or like, you know, a well-known person, and everyone seems to love that person. They're like, oh my god, they're so cool, and you're just like, nah, they're a piece of shit. Like, nah, they're an ass. They're a terrible person. They're a terrible friend. Whatever. And other people might be like, what are you talking about? Like, oh my god, you sound kind of bitter. You sound rude. Like, no, I've never heard any negative things about this person. And you're just like, no, you'll see, you know, like very intuitive. You're just like, no, I know, I feel it. Like, I know this person. Like, I don't like their energy. I can tell, like, you know, it might come across as bitchy. It might come across as, you know, being one to cut people off really fast. But you know that this person is bad news. You know that this person has a terrible personality, even if they don't seem like they do at first, and a lot of people do originally like them, they eventually start to see later, and they might come to you being like, oh my god, you were so right about that person. You know, like, I feel like you're that type of person that you're actually very intuitive when it comes to other people, okay? Because yeah, this is about like making a decision. The Two of Swords, it's like someone like wearing a Grim Reaper cape, like a cloak, and they're ready to kind of cut this heartstring, you know? So yeah, you're very quick to cut people off if you have a feeling about them and feeling that they are not really good to be around. You know, like just someone that you don't want anything to do with, okay? So yeah, and for some people, yeah, it could leave them being very confused and be like, why do you think that? Why do you say that? You have no real proof or whatever, or like, what are you talking about? Again, with the whole jumping to conclusions thing, like I said at first, people probably view you as one to jump to conclusions, but then in the end, you're actually right about that person, about that thing, and it's just like all right, just don't believe me now, but it'll take you a minute, and then you'll learn later on, you know. And I know people like that. I know people that are like, and I've done that too sometimes, where it's like, I can tell this person that everyone is praising right now, that they're very immature, they're very rude, they're very, you know, they're terrible people. You don't believe me now, but you'll see later, you know. So you're that type of person where it's like, you know? I know, okay? And then I feel like your takeaway from that is, I feel like your gut feelings, your intuition is actually very true, okay? With the Ace of Swords, this is about clarity, truth, and, communication, raw breakthrough. So it's the kind of thing like I was saying where it's like, even if people might view that as a negative trait about you at first, just trust your gut. And it's like, no, I know I can spot a shark. I know when this person's no good. You can doubt me all you want, but it will come into fruition later on, and then you'll realize it, and then I'll be right. So like, say whatever you want right now, whatever, but what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling is true. It's 100% true. Like, you have a very strong intuition. The High Priestess is like the divine feminine who is like the hands down most intuitive card in the entire deck, and it's a major arcana, okay? So you're very intuitive people, and like, people may have like a lower vibrational energy, or they just they don't get how your mind works, how your intuition works, so they think that you're being bitchy, they think you're just cutting people off, they think you're just like trash talking, but the truth, okay? Like, the truth about this person, the truth about these people, about these things, these situations, and you're like I know, I can spot a wolf in sheep's clothing, and a sheep in wolf's clothing. Like, like, I can tell who's good and who's bad, even if at the surface they don't seem like that. I know who's who. You just gotta believe me, okay? So, yeah, even if people think of that as like a more negative trait, they just don't know it yet, okay? But you will delightfully prove them wrong, okay? So just go with your gut feelings and never doubt that, because I feel like that'll kind of work out for you, because in the end, people will go up to you and be like, oh my god, you were right about this person, like, you were so right, and you're just like, I told you, So thank you, pile number 2, that was really cool. Now, last but not least, pile number 3, they wrote a bracelet, so the 2 positive things, Page of Swords, and 6 of Swords. And then the negative things, Judgment in reverse, and King of Swords. A lot of you could be air signs, okay? Because this is air, and Judgment doesn't have a sign. Okay, in strength, some of you could be Leo, or have Leo in your chart somewhere as your takeaway message. Okay, confusing, because I know I always resonate with pile number 3, so I'm reading this for myself as well, but let's see, because I wasn't really concentrating on the answer for myself. I was just shuffling and just seeing how it would show up for you guys, but okay, so these are the positive cards, the negative cards, and your takeaway message. So the first card, the Page of Swords, this is very talkative energy, okay? So I feel like what people like about you is that you're very conversational people, okay? Very talkative, probably very entertaining. And with that, some people might even just like the sound of your voice too, just like with the whole talking aspect. Okay, because this is like the chatterbox. It's like the most communicative page in the entire deck. Okay, and like, yeah, very energetic. Okay, so you in with the page also, I feel like a lot of you guys have like a really like cool, youthful type of spirit. Like, you're really energetic. You can kind of brighten up someone's day. Like, look at how the light is going around this person. With the wings, you're probably very sweet. Like, people might even like kind of think of you as like, oh, they're an angel. Like they're so nice. They're very friendly. They're really easygoing. They're you can just sit there and talk to them. Next, like 20 minutes go by and you're having a full on conversation with them. So yeah, just really talkative people, and people find it very entertaining. And with the 6 of Swords, this is about like moving forward and transition. So I kind of feel like, honestly, and this is also the communication, I kind of feel like this is still kind of clarifying itself, where like you can go on and on and on for the longest time with your conversation, and people like that, like you don't really have any stuck moments, okay? And in the end, it always depends on who you're around, but I feel like for the most part, when you're around like-minded people, people that are very similar to you, same interests as you, you can just go on and have like amazing conversations with them with like no bumps in the road. Like, look at this, like this is like moving forward. Traditionally, this is someone like in a boat sailing away. It's like a regretful but necessary transition, but I kind of see like how this person is kind of flying in the air. It's like a smooth transition. So I feel like, you know, some of you could be funny people. You know how like comedians like always have like a nice transition from one joke to the other. I just feel like you're a great conversationalist, and any whatever topic it is, you're great at transitioning from like one topic to another and just kind of keep a conversation going. Okay, so like that's actually really cool. Now the negative aspects, or the other hand, because sometimes they don't always come across as negative. You know, it's more like oh yeah, they're this, they're that, but on the other hand, they're also this and that. You know, so the Judgment card in the reverse, that talks about like refusal of self-examination. And then the King of Swords. The King of Swords is like, you know, the very intelligent king of the deck, but at times he can kind of be very cold. Okay? So, let's see. Maybe, even though you guys are great conversationalists from what I was picking up, maybe sometimes you can kind of come across as like, you know, snobby, snooty, whatever, you know? Like, let's look at this. So I'm trying to see any other meaning, so... Yeah, okay, self-doubt, refusal of self-examination with that card, and then with the King of Swords, it is clear thinking, intellectual power, authority, and truth. Okay, so, honestly, I kind of feel like, maybe, like, the more quote-unquote negative aspect about you is that you don't actually see how like confident of a person you are, you know, like you're very energetic, you're great at talking, great at conversations, you can move from topic to topic, you know, but there are times where maybe you kind of doubt yourself. There are times where you might come across as very shy, you know, at least if anything, very shy in the very beginning. You know, it depends on the people, depends on the situation you're in. But I could see for some of you, it's like maybe when you first walk in. Sorry, my camera randomly cut off, which is really weird. But like I was saying, maybe when you first walk into a room, or you show up at an event or something, you probably sit by yourself. You know, really shy, very self-conscious, have a lot of self-doubt, very insecure type of energy where you're just like, I don't know. I don't want to bother anyone. Like, you know, sometimes people might be like, oh, hey, come sit with us. And you're like, are you sure it's not a bother? And they're like, I just invited you. It's not a bother. Like, you're not intruding on my, on my space. I literally invited you to sit with me, or I like talking to you. You know, you're a really chill person. You know, you like, it could be like, I don't know, it could be like you literally will have a great conversation with like these exact same people, but then like, you know, depending on the situation, depending on the setting, you see them again like just like a couple days later, and you're right back to that exact same shy attitude that you had in the very beginning, as if you never met them before. And they're kind of just like, why are they always like this, you know, like why are they always so self-conscious, so insecure, you know, like and that's not like an insult. It's just like, you know, they just notice, they're like, no, like this person's actually really cool to talk to, and they're very energetic, they're very talkative people. But when like every time when you see them again, it's almost as if you're meeting them for the first time again, because they always sit there for a minute and they're really shy and they don't know what to do until you invite them to talk. Almost like a vampire can't go into a house and unless you invite them, you know. Like they could easily, you know, bite you and kill you outside, but like if you're inside, they can't walk into your house until you give them permission, you know. That was so dumb, but you know what I mean though. But it's like I just feel like for some of you it might be that type of energy where it's like you kind of take like a few steps back every time you see a group of people again, like the exact same people. And again, these aren't like necessarily best friends, these are like acquaintances, these are peers, people that are like minded, maybe like same, you know, if you're in college, same major as you, or maybe they work in the same workspace as you, you know, like you're around them quite frequently, but every time you see them again on like a new day, you kind of like reset as if you never met them. You get really shy because it might be people that, again, like I said, you're not really close friends with. So you know, you don't want to come across as pushy. You don't want to be that type of person where it's like, oh, like, yeah, well, we're friends now, you know, you don't want to come across as like obnoxious or whatever, you know, like you're really like a lot of self-doubt. You're just like, do you want to talk to them? No, you know, like a very lack of self-judgment. You're, you know, like you become really unsure of yourself. So even if you've seen these people or whatever numerous times, you always go right back to being shy again, you know. So that could kind of like be a negative aspect, you know, that kind of works against you. And honestly, like, I mean, like I said, I always resonate with pile number 3, and this definitely makes sense with me, because I know that, like, I could be around the same people, be really talkative around them if I'm around them for like maybe 15-20 minutes, but when I first see them, I'm like, hi, you know, I don't go out of my way to talk to them, because I always feel like, oh, I don't want to bother people. But it's like, I'm learning, you know, you're not bothering anyone, you know, just talk to them, say hi, because sometimes it could kind of come across as rude or snooty, or, oh, I'm better than you because I don't feel like talking to you. And you don't want to come across like that because you're shy. So, you know, there's a fine line between being shy and coming across as rude. So be careful with that, okay? Because some people might, you know, they might know that. They might notice that and be like, yeah, no, she or he, like, they're really shy people. Like, you know, they're really cool to talk to. But every once in a while, when you see them again, after long periods of time, they do that exact same thing again, where they just get really shy and very unsure of themselves and really weird around you, and you're like, what the hell gives? Why are they always like this, you know? So be careful with that, okay? And that actually is a perfect with this takeaway, the strength card, again, this is Leo energy, confidence, okay? So be more confident, be a little more courageous when you're approaching people, you know, when you're approaching your peers, you're approaching other people. Don't feel inferior around them, and don't be too shy and like constantly overthinking everything. Like, you know, like you're not interrupting, you're not intruding, you know. Some of you probably are very used to just being polite, that, you know, or maybe it's a cultural thing, so you want to make sure that you're not like bothering people. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you guys in this, notice how this is all swords just in your head. You probably have a lot of anxiety, okay? Like very anxious people, and you're just like constantly like, oh my god, like I really want to talk to these people, they're so cool, but I don't want to bother them, I don't want them to think I'm annoying or whatever. But they probably don't think you're annoying at all. Like, you know, if you're, you know, some people probably know about you from other people, and they're just like, oh yeah, no, we heard that he or she, like, you know, they're great conversationalists. When they're actually feel comfortable, they're very energetic, they're very funny. You know, time goes by really fast when you're talking to them. You know, like they can jump from one subject to another. It's not boring. You know, but when you first see them, every time they always have that moment of shyness. They act as if they don't belong, and like they kind of put themselves in that little bubble as if no one wants them around, but in reality we do. You know, we do want you around, we do want to get to know you more. So be more courageous and stop thinking that you're a burden to other people, you know. So that's actually really nice. That's a nice message for you. I know that's a nice message for me, because like, trust me, I've been like that since middle school. Like people that I've known for years, I've known since like 6th grade or since I started college. You know, I'm friends with them, I'll talk to them here and there, but then the next time I see them, I act like, oh no, they don't even bother with me, they don't want anything to do with me. It's like, who said that? No one said that. Talk to them. You know, like there's nothing wrong with talking to someone. You know, like you're not bothering anybody. If someone's that rude or that obnoxious, you don't want anything to do with them anyway, you know. But don't be afraid to talk to people. So yeah, some of you just probably have a lot of social anxiety, but once you kind of get past that, and it might be like a really quick type of thing where like in the very beginning you're like that, or maybe during like time breaks or whatever, you act like that, where you kind of want to be a little secluded, you know, like your introverted nature kind of comes out. But then once you get comfortable, you're very extroverted, you're very entertaining, you're funny, you know, like you're really cool people to be around, okay? And I feel like a lot of people know that about you, and they want to consistently bring that out of you, but they know that like, you know, when you first hang out with them, they're like, oh my god, this person's so cool, they're really talkative, they're energetic, they're funny, whatever. but it's always the same thing. Whenever we see them again, we're like, oh, hi, and they're just like, hey, how's it going? And then they kind of, you know, just stand with their arms crossed, or like, you know, like twiddling their fingers, nervous. It's like, stop being so nervous. Just have a conversation. You're not bothering anyone, okay? Like, your presence isn't bothering a damn person, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? So thank you, pile number 3. Hope that resonated with you. I actually really enjoyed that message, and yeah, sorry for the camera cutting out. That was really weird, but I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I'll see you next time, all right?